against the team that also sent you to losers in the first place. It's quite a lot to do, and this could be a long one. You know, with how well Myztro have been playing today, if they can pull the cat out of the bag and play their minds out right now, and they reset, this will be a long one for sure. But here we go, grand finals of the EU Sacrifice Qualifier. It's going to be Myztro Gaming versus the winrar licensed salesman. winrar being the natural favourites due to their winner's side placement, but definitely don't count out Myztro. And speaking of which, this is a fantastic start. They take down every single frag, and they've comfortably dropped off the obelisk. Yes, indeed. That all-important spot at DreamHack Winter is what's on the line in this final set for the European side. Obviously, we'll be going back to North America after, but for now, it's all about that EU. But I mean, to be honest, with how well both of these teams are playing, and this is a cookie-cutter, fantastic start in Sacrifice, where they've got the power-up, they've got the drop-off. Once again, if this is uncontested, that's going to be 30% before the quad is finished. There's the tactical suicide to allow Hell to quickly get this, but wow, immediate reactions. That was a beautiful shot, Hell. Yeah, that was a really good reaction. Very impressed with that one. Sparty has the quad damage, though. Unfortunately, not able to throw the soul away, so even though they've got a lead, it can only really last so long. But as I was saying, actually, before this went down, there are going to be some BYOC qualifiers after this qualification is done, but it will take place at the event itself. As it's in European territory, I have no doubt that either of these two teams, if they don't qualify here, I have no doubt they will go to the BYOC, and they'll probably make it, let's be real, because they're doing so well here. They both play quite well at LANs in general, so you can't count out either of these guys making it into the qualifier, but the online qualifier is the comfort, right? If you qualify now rather than later, it's just going to make your life easier. Yeah, 100%, but the soul has been stolen away by Myztro. winrar were able to get a little bit of a chunk of percentage back up again, but not enough to take the lead. Oh, they're just flooding in, but they just trade those frags back and forth as always. Liths coming in. Oh no, went for the barrier but died immediately. That's no ideal use there. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get the soul drop there, so he actually wasted a little bit of time having to go back under that jump pad just to collect the soul, which did allow him to die a little bit too early. Definitely didn't want to go down that early on, but the suicide, the trade. And to be honest, those kind of trades will benefit whoever's defending the obelisk there, so that's going to be good for Myztro. The Spartan went down with the ship. Another one of these just trades. We're going frag for frag at the moment. Everyone's just dying left, right, and center, but the whole time Myztro have basically had the soul themselves. Sparty trying to steal it away. Gonna be able to stop it, halt that progress. How far can he get? As that rotation is about to spawn any minute now. He has to drop this off and then help his team get that power up. Oh, but there we go. FaZe is ready and waiting. But I mean, that rotation quite easily by the looks of things. Liths did go down right before he had the chance to use his shield. All you notice at the top right of the screen, he has actually got his shield available now. So he's going to be able to use it here just to waste some time. If he's not going to be able to use it to secure the power up, he's going to use it just to be a nuisance. And like even there, he was just simply like no attack required. Even though ultimately didn't really work out because Hell had full health and protection, the shield did a good job of wasting a ton of that protection time. We're able to still get through, and now it's just going to be a cleaned up corridor. Let's try and get the gauntlet out, but it's just too far away to be effective. Juvenile, though, still has the soul, taking it through. Did it quite connect? Yes, it did indeed enough. FaZe with a good defense. Garpy popping that berserk, getting that instant burst of speed. Can't quite get away. Bus driver chases him down. Likely to go down soon because he himself is very weak, but Razy with the pickup. We've seen some really good things come out of Razy's Anarchy today. Like, he's had some good decisions on when to just sneak in there and steal the soul under the other team's nose. But to be honest with you, I feel like winrar do that effectively too. And they sort of trade between those Anarchy rolls, map after map. Oh, and Garpy with that nice read of that gauntlet. I think he's going to get followed through. Sparty have it out, but massively outnumbered. Poor Sparty dies immediately. Thinking maybe I've seen a Doomslayer there with the gauntlet out. Maybe thought it was a little bit too good to be true, following that one through and just getting completely ambushed by 3 people at once. Myztro have the lead still, but it has been a steady lead, no matter how well winrar have been able to play so far. This also happened first time they played too. Yeah, Myztro had that early lead, but it quite quickly fell through at about this point in the round, and winrar almost had like an entire 100% to 1 capture. I quite liked that play from Garpy, dealing with the issue where Liths was probably going to get that soul. The second he saw the shield wall, Clutch is able to take the soul while the shield wall is active, so there was really very little that Garpy was going to be able to do to stop the soul being taken. What he was going to be able to do was essentially deal with the champion that he was going to pass it on to. Myztro getting a lot of frags here, though, that defensive quad damage, passing over to Juvenile, who's a little bit more healthy. more likely to survive. Pops that injection though, hasn't got any armor. A few shards will do a good job of stopping that a little bit. Oh, very weak. Juvenile has to be careful here, even though he's got the quad. With 12 HP, they've really just got a sneeze on him. And there's Litz with a pickup. Significantly more stacked. And now this is going to be a bit of a problem for Myztro Gaming. A clutch with a shield wall and quad damage is one of the scariest things you can fight in this game. Oh, crazy. Deleted. Hey, he's just taking frag after frag now. Literally starting to come online here now. The barrier very much still up and running. He has what he needs. Oof! But Razy with a swift super shotgun. A very chunky answer to a chunky champion like Clutch. Now winrar taking the lead though. They've got 10% and climbing. Looking good for Myztro at the very beginning, but winrar had this consistent result of being able to... They saw, I think one thing winrar do really well is they play for long. There's that triple gauntlet though. Can we talk about that for a second? Very impressive. I feel like winrar, they can play for the long round. You know, a lot of these longer rounds, I think that winrar tend to come off better in, even if they get a slow start or even if they don't have a good start at all. I feel like they still have this amazing way of being able to sort of clutch things out. They don't panic, they stay composed. And eventually, they tend to get the round win. And now they're in the lead by 30%. That's quite significant this far down the line. In Myztro, they can't afford to make too many mistakes here because giving up 10%, that's really a matter of seconds. And the round could be over. But Myztro is still holding on to it. He seems to be, I mean, are they quite winning here? There was Hell ready to catch it. That was really well positioned. Spy going to fall down. Litz is here. Does he have the barrier? He does. And that's that time. I mean, that's it. That's it, right? You know, just waste a bunch of time, make him overextend a little bit, and then just punish him with that gauntlet temporarily. Going in with the soul now, but here comes the protection as well. Myztro can't afford to lose his protection, but they do. It goes to Sparty. Swiftly there, ready to get it. He's going to drop the soul off. Now Sparty, very healthy, can drop this off. Now 10% left to hold. That is all they need. I mean, Doomslayer has that natural stack anyway, and they're just getting frag after frag. They have no choice but to pile in here. They can't waste up any precious seconds. However, if you're having to pile in one at a time versus a Doomslayer with protection and the rest of the team, it's going to be so hard for them to deal. And they're saving that shield wall. This is going to be pretty much guaranteed. Razy can't survive. Even if he's taking all that damage, you've just got that clutch with the shield. Being a nuisance. There you go. The first round goes in the favor of license sales. The clutch pick is making such a huge difference here. You know, when you get that one good sequence of a barrier, it's so large and it has such a good mind game to it, right? Like the situation where Hell saw the barrier, got his gauntlet out, tried to fight. So Litz just pulled his gauntlet out instead and, you know, effectively beat him to that point blank punch. And then you've got situations like that where it's just being used to defend and being used to hold for a whole team. Like, it's such an important pick, but it does just require that next level of coordination that we can see that winrar definitely seems to have together.
Liquid had some really impressive strats with that during the DreamHack Denver tournament in the same kind of way. Litz is very weak, so he's going to have to pass that one on, I think. He can't really fight for it himself. But no, as I was saying, it was the strategies of, like, you know, Clutch would go in there on a point and be just a real nuisance on the point and, you know, sit there and defend or attack depending on whether they have the obelisk or not. And then their Anarchy would just swoop in and take the soul. So they're putting so much resources into trying to deal with this Clutch. The Anarchy has already been there and out again with the soul in hand before they've even realized what's going on. Like, he's such a distraction.
So the quad damage is going away with Myztro so far. Like, winrar invested quite heavily into the soul and we're quite low because of it. And Razy with that swift triple with that starting shotgun. Very nice.
There's the soul. There's a chunk of quad left to go as well. So I think meeting Razy one-on-one is going to be a death sentence here. There's the drop. Juvenile follows up with the death.
Here Razy getting a lot of damage there, taking a few more shots than necessary, but be happy with that one. winrar still ever so slightly in the lead a little bit. But not by much, to be honest, only 8%. That can quickly move around. Oh, flying in from above though.
Just taken to the skies right there. But he does go down. That shield wall is going to be down. You actually have to really pay attention to that cooldown time, because that's when I think, you know, the action, that's where the action's likely to be taken here. Because you notice that it's 24 seconds until that shield wall is available on the top right with Litz. The second you see that that shield wall is up, I mean, that's when the big sort of group fight is likely to take place, where the soul's probably going to go in their favor. Nice impressive double there with the Doomslayer though.
That a good defense. A really good defense for Myztro, to be honest. Now 34%. Oof. That's a good kill feed for Myztro. Look at all that blue on red.
Been a good defense for them so far. I know that he has access to the shield wall now with Litz. He does die, unfortunately, but Now he's got the shield wall, this is where the coordination's probably going to come in. You know, the power-up's going to be there in 30 seconds, so he's going to be a little bit more free to use the shield wall now. He'll just have to maybe sort of collect some of those cooldown shards beforehand to make sure he's got it for the next power-up as well. But this whole time, you know, Myztro continuing to climb this percentage up. There you go, he tried to go in there with the attack with the rest of his team, but it didn't quite work out. But I think he understood that, right? The fight didn't go particularly well, so for another time, he's saving the shield. I think he's been saving it for this power-up. The power-up is what's going to bring them back into the fight.
He is unfortunately quite low though while he's trying to contest this, as Liz manages to get the protection, but he dies straight away in phase, coming grinding in from below with that gauntlet.
But the thing is, he had so much stack when he stole protection. It's pretty much going to give him free reign to just run in there and steal the soul away. It's going to be Sorlak though, so not the fastest champion, with the exception of going in for that rocket boost. But if it's Juvenile, I mean, he's going to outrun that quite easily.
Moving away, he is relatively low, still has this. Oh no! These members of Myztro are definitely not where he wants to go.
Yeah, I think that drop down probably wasn't intentional. Didn't kind of look like he wanted to go down there. Forced to use the jump pad, he's going to kind of be at the mercy of their accuracy. I mean, you've got that many people shooting at you at once, they're not going to miss. Gotta say, a better round for Myztro by far. They've got a significant lead right now.
Yeah, this is stronger. I mean, this was roughly around the point, you know, a little bit earlier, albeit that winrar were able to sort of like steal it back and get that good defense, but it's just not happening this time. Myztro really are got a bit of a firm grasp on this round as it stands currently, as they are 80% to 18. That's a big difference.
Now, if they're able to keep this soul away without them being able to drop things off, then we may not even see another power-up spawn on this map. Litz, unfortunately, kind of had sort of dedicated down towards that ledge, so he's not actually able to turn around and fight Razy. Forced to waste a little bit of that time, but Bus Driver, nice rocket. Sitting really comfortably, but look at how many frags Myztro were able to secure right there.
Yeah, I think I'm about ready to call this round done as it stands. I'm not quite sure if winrar have the equipment left. I mean, after all dying like that together. Oh, big mid-air shot from Garp.
I mean, it's Garpy's rockets. If there's one thing we saw from DreamHack Denver, it's that Garpy's rockets are out of this world.
Doing more than currently Liz has it, but for how long for? There's the Mega. It's picked up by his teammate while he has it. Trying to run through this plasma trail to keep himself alive. Bus Driver. I mean, they've dropped it off. I mean, this is going to be tough. 95 to 20. I don't want to say it's impossible, but it will be.
The thing is, they piled in so hard to try and fight to get the soul dropped off. No one was there to fight for power-up, and they're taking so much damage. That is going to be the power-up.
No, Juvenile.
No, Juvenile, yeah, using the injection to stay alive. Everyone was so weak. Unfortunately, though, he's not able to survive long enough, and now here comes hell. I think this is going to be quite a good situation for Myztro. If they can keep the quad, and if they lose the quad, then this might be a different story. Misses the shotgun blast on Juvenile, but not punished. No gauntlet comes through. Litz wasting time with the shield.
Barrier.
Bus Driver coming through with the LG, and the barrier is so important.
That's the barrier. He had quad damage, but he was met with one big invincible barrier to just not get through. That was so well played by Litz, and look, already winrar 50%.
And climbing. It's 95%, but you can't count these guys out if they can have one good solid defense. At the end of the day, we've seen these comebacks happen before, and from more of a deficit. Oh, FaZe tries to go for that rocket jump movement, but can't quite. Met in the middle, though. Juvenile going to punish him quite accordingly with that LG. Forced to go through the teleporter, but a nice prediction. But look at how many members of winrar are there to meet him at the obelisk.
Juvenile took a lot of damage there trying to get through.
Still alive, though.
Oh, and Razy beats him to the obelisk and is ready.
Really good rail.
Yeah, it was quite a risky rail as well. If he missed that shot, that would have been a capture for sure. I'd be certain of it. Razy though, 97%. This might be it. In winrar, they have a lot of people here. But looks like Myztro have a lot of heads there too, but there's the pass. Throwing it towards the middle, that's going to waste a chunk of time. Myztro forced to sort of try and go all the way back. Oh, but they're not getting there in time. 3 members of Myztro ready to get this soul back. It's not looking good for winrar. 25 seconds away from that protection, but I'm not sure if they even get time. I mean, this is dangerous. How many people do you invest into protection when your opponent is 1% away from winning? Can you even afford to put people towards the power-up?
I think they're having to make sure that that's right then. There's 2 heads from winrar there trying to take control of it. I think they've realized even if we try and fight for this power-up, we can't allow them to drop things off. With that 1% left, it's pretty much giving up the round for free. Here it comes, Juvenile. I mean, this time, though, he has not got protection. So even though he gets that small health, he's going to be super, super weak.
He hasn't now. He picked it up during it. That was really well played from Juvenile. He decided to delay capturing the soul just to make sure he was there helping his team secure the power-up. That was perfectly played. And look, just like that, they now have it again.
There we go. Now it's 99%. In many ways, this can be very, very scary, you know, when you've got that 99% situation, but how many times have we seen that 99% comeback take place, you know, because the other team, they might be a little bit too eager, they might be a little bit too willing to almost like rush the finish. Like, come on guys, it's 1 more %. We've just got to like pile in, grab it and take it away. But if you're a little bit too aggressive, if you're too predictable, you're giving up so much percentage of these fights not working out. And then by the time you realize that, okay, maybe we need to sort of calm down and go back to what we were doing before, it might even be too little too late.
Myztro losing a lot of people. winrar starting to get a big firm hold on this defense now. Myztro, they are dropping as fast as they come in, they are falling down.
I would be very worried for Myztro though if they lose this. You know, if they lose in a situation where the comeback was so hard for winrar to achieve going into a final map, knowing that the round could have slipped through your fingers. I mean, that can, even the highest caliber of player, this will affect your morale. 5%, winrar, they're making the comeback happen. Are they going to be able to finish the job here?
Managed to take the soul away. This is 97 to 99. Razy, it's a little bit of health, not too much. I mean, he's got almost full health, but it's his armor that worries me at the moment.
Yeah, they need to make sure they win
That's
this
going
fight.
to pick up.
He has to sit tight and wait for the rocket. The problem is, he's only got a shotgun. His ability to contribute towards these fights is not going to be very significant.
He's going around, but his teammates are dying for it. He gets impatient, goes in already, but he drops it off. Myztro just have to control this point now. They have 99%. They're contesting it. They can't afford to lose here, but Sparty! Oh, but no, FaZe comes in. Is that enough?
I think that's likely to be it. Is that going to be enough to win the round? He tries to fly in, and they do get the 100%. That very, very nearly
very dangerous.
Was disastrous for Myztro, but they do able to clutch it out in the second round. That's such an important round to win. If they didn't win that map, and they lost due to a crazy comeback that winrar made going into the next map, I would have been very, very concerned for Myztro.
However, there is still space for that to happen, but maybe not. We could have, this is one of those weird situations, right? Because you have rounds like that that are so close, we could go down to a full bracket reset, like, you know, as long as it takes. However, we could just as easily 2 maps in be done with it for Europe. You know, this is very unpredictable when the teams are going that back and forth.
The unpredictable nature of a double in bracket. Sparty himself is super weak, but I think he's going to be able to secure 1 frag. He's going to be happy with that one. Juvenile with an early drop-off, so this time winrar have got a good start. They haven't had it actually previously. Myztro have been the ones that have a good sort of drop-off rate. So that's already different. However, not a huge amount of percentage went down there. I think sometimes we've seen players like Myztro, even teams like Stacked, for example, where they're actually quite content with the soul going down early, and they kind of use all their resources to win the fight next, to then say, well, they're going to get some early percentage, but if we get the power up, or if we get a good read on where they're going to try and drop it off, the percentage we climb after their drop-off is probably going to be more worthwhile. And now they have the quad damage, so they're actually able to follow through with exactly what they were looking for.
Also, Helder has it too, but he does drop himself. Sparty there, would have salvaged the quad. Looking to take the soul away.
Going to get a huge amount out of this quad, really. I think it is enough to make sure, at the very least, Myztro don't have it. Even if you're not able to get a whole amount of progress done for the power-up, as long as your team is the one that holds the power-up, it's still going to be a win for you, because they're not able to make that significant impact because they don't have the power-up at all. They don't have the chance.
Things have been tied up already. winrar doing a good job of holding on to this, but Myztro, a couple of people here. 3 impact, all 4. No, they just come swooping in. The entire team here trying to take away, but Bus Driver, the frag, Sparty gets one too. This is being held onto quite firmly by winrar salesman, and now they're looking to extend this lead more. Sparty's holding on to that Berserk.
I think that was...
yeah, most of them have the barrier too. They have a lot of utility here if they need it.
That was an efficient defense coming out from winrar. We saw ourselves all 4 members of this team all piled in at the same time, but I think they just picked their targets so carefully. Sparty was being very calculated over the people that he was choosing to attack right there, and in a very small space of time, all 4 members went down at pretty much the exact same time.
So that we can see the entirety of winrar trying to stop them from coming back with this drop-off, but Razy not really in a rush to drop it off. Want to make sure his team is there, making it safe before. I mean, there's no use just running out and giving up the soul for free.
And this will just come down to communication, isn't it? Juvenile, he would have seen them, but dedicating towards the teleporter already, but the danger is letting the rest of his team know.
Juvenile came back round.
Razy more than ready for it. But the second they realize the fights have gone in their favor, that's when Razy decides to pile in. That's the coordination saying, right guys, the coast is clear, let's go.
Oh, but Juvenile with the protection as well. At least Myztro holding onto the soul. Looks like Razy was able to find his time to drop it off, but this is going to be tough. Juvenile, he seems to have a nail gun though. So let's go with here. Oh,
But I mean, that protection is so prominent. And now because he's got the injection, there we go. All the damage he's just taken, swiftly undone.
Oh, wow, that's a lot of damage take, but still healthy because of the power of the protection. Oh, hell, getting so much damage on Mark, but it just isn't enough.
How Juvenile commits to the chase. He's not going to allow Razy to survive at all. There we go. Chases him down.
Oh, no, missing that rail. Oh, hitting the follow-up, though. Razy drops two. This is getting tough for Myztro. winrar slowly but surely starting to extend this lead.
Juvenile's survivability on Anarchy is one of the most impressive things we've seen today.
Oh no, missing the mid-air rail though.
When he's consistently low on health, he's able to make sure that not only does he survive, but he's still scoring major frags before he inevitably goes down.
Getting a lot of distance there. Oh, was going to pick up the mega health and died anyway. Bus driver. Nice rocket. Establishing Juvenile. Again, still low though. It's the injection, but is being followed. Oh, the heavy armor. Perfect timing.
Just trying to sort of look for that safe passage, you know. I think on top of the team communication.
Oh, and if he can't find it, he's creating it. Oh, perfect. Juvenile really has to be playing out of his mind this round. It's exactly what winrar need. They need someone like this to just pop off and start having the round of their lives. Now that's a big lead for winrar to have so far.
Wow! Oh my Sparty! With a whole bunch of gauntlet kills.
Another one too. Spy just putting another notch off the board. The entire team taken down. Actually, no, is it quad? Yes, quad damage.
Nice to have it. I mean, he's got a big hitbox though, so he's only going to survive for so long. Sparty does manage to take out the quad, but unfortunately goes down at the same time. Razy now has the quad damage. The Mega is going to help him a little bit, but he's getting focused by everyone on the team. He's going to have to make sure he gets these kills as quickly as possible. Reduce that damage significantly. Spy just gets deleted right there.
And that's going to use his Berserk as well. That's going to be a long cooldown before he gets that back. Oh no! I think he overshot the soul there. I don't think it was winrar that threw it like that. Was it Myztro?
There we go. They've got the drop off, and this is looking really good. It just needs like, well, essentially 15%, right? And that's going to be the map done. Myztro, it's been crazily back and forth, but I just feel like the hold winrar have had on this final round, it's been kind of hard to contest. You know, Sparty, he's been a real star fragger throughout this round. It's like really well-placed berserks. His gauntlet, his actually use of the gauntlet in these close range encounters has been on point as well. And it just comes down to the use of clutch. You know, clutch has been such a headache throughout this entire map. And just look at it again, they pile in one at a time. And it forces their advances to be quite predictable, but they have no other choice. It's going to be 2-1 on this first map. But the issue is, seeing as this first map went to winrar License Salesman, as they're on the winner's side, the amount of work that Myztro obviously know they have to do, I think it's just been amplified quite significantly. Because now not only have they got to win this best of 3, they've got to win it twice, they now need to win the next 2 maps in a row to even stay alive in this tournament.
I'll say 67 frags on Sparty by the end of that. Like, far and away are the most frags in the entire game.
And 67 frags is quite a high amount for Sacrifice as well. Normally, you kind of see the frags kind of sit around the sort of 40-50 mark. The fact that he pretty much got significantly higher than that, I think it says a lot about how much of an impact Sparty was making. Kind of goes back to if you're racking up the frags over and over again, it means your ability to just sit there and defend. Very impressive indeed.
What concerns me moving into the rest of this grand final set, though, is now it definitely seems that Ruins of Sarnath is one of, if not the strongest map for Myztro, and they've just lost it. So now the map is off the table, and they are 1-0 down on it.
However, they're very comfortable on Burial Chamber, which is the map we're going to be going on to next. So if they have a chance to take things back and get back into this grand finals, Burial Chamber is likely to be the answer they might be able to have. And again, we've seen these guys play one on Burial Chamber as well. But we're going to find out what the champion lineups are going to be. We're getting into this match now, so the champion select will be going up in due time. But really, I feel like a 2-0 victory would be unexpected for me, I have to say. I kind of expected Myztro to be really sort of taking some of these maps a little bit more in their favor. You know, the winners finals was a bit more dominant than I was expecting to see. If the grand finals goes to 2-0 as well, it would surprise me quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we were sort of saying the same things to each other, you know, after that winners final set, you know, seeing that it was 2-0 kind of took everyone really here by surprise. You know, we kind of didn't expect it to be that one-sided. And for it to happen again in grand finals, yeah, would be another big surprise. We know Myztro are strong. We know they're getting used to get together as a team. Obviously, like, I can imagine practice time has been sort of tough with how strong a lot of their team are in duels. I assume that must cut down a lot of the time they can have to practice together, being that they're obviously focusing on 2 game modes and are very successful in both. I can imagine that must take its toll quite a bit. But that being said, they clearly are still good together. However, winrar are just playing out of their minds, and that's why they're finding themselves a map up.
But the thing is that winrar licensed salesmen have gone into this tournament being the team I think everyone kind of expected to qualify for DreamHack Winter, for the fact that the only team that kept these guys away from DreamHack Winter in the first qualifier was Stacked, and obviously Stacked being one of the best teams in general for Quake champions, because obviously when they had Not Too Fast, they were super successful. Now when they're Stacked, they're doing really well too. They were the only team that kept winrar out of DreamHack Winter, and now they're obviously, as they've already qualified, not in this tournament. It was almost like fair to assume that winrar would just simply win the next qualifier.
Which could still happen.
Yeah, I mean, Myztro have been playing really well, but at the end of the day, winrar have been having they've got a good track record in DreamHack so far, and I think they're just at the moment looking to simply just continue that streak of good success. And they've done a good job of adapting to the patch. They had a hard time in Denver, but even though it's only been a week since Denver, the grasp they've had on Sacrifice since the patch has been very impressive indeed. But going into Burial Chamber, we'll see if Myztro can pull this one back and try and get a map on the board.
Starting off is going to be very important now. That room for error just completely removed from Myztro now. They are 1 map down. They are in loser side too. They have so much more work to do here than winrar do. winrar's early success.
I think particularly when you're 1 map down as well, I mean, like, the room for mistake is gone completely. You can't make that one poor bit of judgment that loses a round. It's 2 out of 3 rounds as well. Seeing as 1 error can result in 1 drop-off, and that 1 drop-off could be 1 good defense from 100% to 0. You never know what a mistake will cost.
That was a great exchange though. Sparty trying to get through to the obelisk, but unfortunately died for it. Juvenile, very well played. Actually, also, Juvenile back on the scale bearer too. Juvenile looked really good on this earlier on.
Yeah, they've gone for a few changes. It actually kind of looks like Myztro have gone with a bit more of the standard though, where it looks like FaZe has gone back onto the Sorlag pick. Sparty with this quad damage, you got to worry. He really was the absolute star fragger of the last map, and now he's got quad damage in hand, and he's looking to keep that going.
Now still has a little bit of that quad left to go. That damage reckon. Oh, quad damage, ball rush, turning you into paste. Get out of my way. I'm dropping off this soul.
Ugh. However, been able to tie things up. It was only a 7% lead, and that, I mean, it really means very little in the space of a few seconds.
Early game, absolutely. Like 7% is almost non-existent, really, especially at this point in the round.
This is that obelisk where rails are so prominent. You know, you've got so much distance in between. Everyone has a rail gun. You can kind of sit there and defend your point. You've got good rails, almost keeping the guys at arm's reach. So, you know, the ones that even do manage to slip the net, if they take the odd rail here and there, they have nowhere near enough health to try and fight. But I love that use of the bull rush. If he's going to go down, he may as well get as much frags as possible. And the fact that he took 1 person down, I mean, he's going to be happy with that. Take it.
Garpy's coming back in though, Myztro very low. Garpy is going to finish him off, but there we go. Bought enough time. winrar come flying in, trying to defend, but Garpy still getting a lot of frags here defensively, as now he has Razy here to support him as well.
Sparty's able to trade things off 1-1 though, with the Berserk used. He's taking a lot of damage, but he's likely to drop this one off. Sparty does meet him, but a little bit too slow.
Actually looks like all of Myztro here ready to defend as well. Razy wish could have gone down there, but all the boys here ready to defend and help get this capture.
Looking for that super shotgun, but against a fellow Anarchy, it can be a little bit easier said than done to plan those shots, because at any moment when you go for that flick super shotgun, you can pretty much just pull in the opposite direction. There's that protection. Bus driver with a very impressive stack, and the protection means he's going to be almost unkillable unless he gets heavily focused at this obelisk.
Yeah, deciding to get out of there, seeing his teammate die. Juvenile never going to survive that one, but that's going to be a capture. winrar going to have to get here as many people as they can to make sure they can hold on to this. Even though Bus Driver has heavy protection, ultimately if you're getting focused and massively outnumbered, you will still end up going down.
Yeah, definitely.
Put your team there to help too.
They pretty much used the protection for the sole purpose of being able to drop the soul off. They weren't able to really get any defense with it after that point, but I think they're going to be happy with it. At the very least, the drop-off is going to be good for them. I actually really like Bus Driver's ability to actually be a little bit more flexible with the champions he's selecting. I know I touched on this earlier, but when we'd watch Bus Driver play in Sacrifice tournaments, even during the QWC days, Sorlag was pretty much like the only champion that he would see using. Yes, Sorlag was extremely better and pretty much vital for a team comp, but it's great to see that Bus Driver, as one of the newer players coming into Quake Champions as well, it's great to see his ability going on the Slash. She's not the easiest champion in the game to play, but he indeed has got a very impressive Slash in this game mode.
That's what we're seeing time after time. Oh, no, Lys going from behind. Hell flying in with the soul still, but he's intercepted. And Lys may be going to die here, but no, Juvenile is there ready to pick it up.
And he's going to have Bull Rush too, which means he might be trying to go for the drop-off with that. I think he might, yeah, I think it makes sense he didn't go for the Bull Rush there. Didn't want to risk losing the Bull Rush and the soul. Respawning with nothing would have been a bit of a pain.
Oh, Garpy gets close, but not close enough to get any damage out of that Berserk. But hang on a minute. Doubling back, Juvenile gets a frag. Oh, but no! Lys flying in, already ready for that change in direction.
When they both push in there at the same time, after knowing you're there and they know you're going through the jump pad, I think that sends quite a message to Garpy saying we both have so much health still that we're not scared to use this jump pad.
All right, good turnaround for WinRAR. 4 damage is up and it is on Juvenile now. They're going to have to be so careful. That gauntlet coming out. Garpy die anyway. There's a lot of people there trying to take it out, but here comes the quad damage Scale Bearer. They have the soul, but they're dying one at a time. Razy holding the gauntlet out, but all 4 of them wiped out swiftly by Juvenile.
Oh, but here comes the killing spree. Unfortunately, Hell was not able to put any distance between the soul. So the drop back into the obelisk was a very fast turnaround. And he has another quad. He's excited to get a couple more frags. How many of these rails? He hits 4 rails in a row. Oh my word. And that is likely to, it could have secured this round. You know, that one good use of quad. I mean, making sure every shot counted.
We say this a lot, but that one play might have just secured this round completely. Hang on, as I can say that, Myztro flying in, not letting that massive killing spree get them down at the moment.
If there was one champion that he probably was going to be happy taking that Bull Rush, it was going to be FaZe. I think Juvenile was probably like, out of all 3 people on this point that I hit with the Bull Rush, why did it have to be Sorlag?
Still though, Racy looking all right. This is a big point difference, but possible.
The danger is that WinRAR have had no issues simply sieging this point, taking the soul, and effortlessly leaving the base with it. So seeing as they've spent this whole round very comfortably attacking the obelisk, seeing as all they have to simply do is do it one more time and hold it for a split second for the final percentage, it's a very hard objective for Myztro to hold this for the entire round, because WinRAR have looked so good from start to finish.
Also, there's no getting around the fact there will be another power-up that spawns before the end of this round if Myztro are going to win it, just because of the sheer amount of percentage they need to climb back up again. However, WinRAR, they can afford to just put all their efforts into the soul now if they want.
Definitely. And if there's someone there making sure they defend the soul, there's going to be not as many heads on the power-up location.
Well, this is one of those awkward situations where Myztro can't really afford to let WinRAR pick up the power-up, but they can't afford to leave the point either, because if they leave the obelisk and it gets taken by WinRAR, they're basically going to win for free. It's very difficult for them. Juvenile comes in, swoops in and gets the protection. Has a lot of health to sponge up with it too.
He's going to make sure he's got that rocket launcher, because the next objective is going to be to seize the obelisk. And now he's got all that health. This protection is going to be a vital asset for the rest of his team. However, the rest of his team does fall around him. So Juvenile, he's going to have to sort of be this one-man army, but there's all 4 members of the team looking to maybe try and stop him from going in here.
Oh, but no, one of them falls down, 2 of them fall, 3 of them. Sparty finishes up the whole team, and the soul is gone. And it's on the protected Scale Bearer. Protection just wears out, but he does have the enhanced mitigation of the Bull Rush if he needs it. And he's going to go for it, full steam ahead. He has one objective in mind, and that is Obelisk B, as he is trying to get this final percentage. Oh, but Razy kills Juvenile just as he drops it off. That was so perfectly played.
Vital. Absolutely vital that Razy was able to secure that frag. It's kept them in this fight. If he lost that 1v1 right there, there is no doubt that WinRAR would have dropped the soul off and they would have got that 1% that they need to win this round. And at this stage, you can't count out Myztro. You know, even though there was 1% in it, their defense at the end of this round has been impeccable. They need this round. I mean, absolutely. They're a map down. They're on the loser's side. They need to get any ounce of momentum they can get. And it looks like they are more than willing to stick this one out.
Soul off. I mean, what was the difference? I mean, what was the difference when it was? It was 99 to some crazy low number, and Myztro making this full play. Going soul out, but it's being ready to get caught up immediately. Razy is there to catch it. Oh, but Lys takes him down. Hell coming back in though. Yeah, Myztro,
yeah.
look at this momentum they're riding. This could be it. 96%. Oh, the soul goes. Sparty has it.
Oh dear. And if they lose this now, they've completely swarmed in on Sparty. He's likely to go down. Juvenile now with less than 100 HP. However, he has got the safety of that plasma trail. The Myztro players are dropping like flies, one after the other. And now with this bull rush available, Juvenile, he's going to pop it. Can he take out anyone on the way? No, he misses them all. Hell finishes the job. Razy trying to take this soul back, but they're going to be trading it back and forth. The fight goes in the favor of Myztro. Garpy's using the Berserk, trying to go a little bit faster. Using the jump pad. I think he understands. He may need to actually go for the rocket.
Wait,
instead.
what's this?
What on earth?
Oh, hang on a minute. What's Garpy doing here?
What?
Oh.
With what?
I thought maybe he has some, like, you know, weird double jump sort of tech there. They was going to try and go around the outside.
Me too, but I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, he had teammates with him, right?
Uh-oh. I mean, they're going to drop this off now. They have it. 1% left. I'm not sure what Garpy did there, but it might have... Oh, God, it's cost them dearly.
Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Poor Garpy. I mean, he clearly had an idea in mind there. He was going for something. Like, I mean, I know Doomslayer has the double jump. Can Doomslayer jump around the outside there and make it to the point?
I mean, he might have gone for some, you know, he might have gone for some crazy, like, he might have had some crazy sort of attempt there with the soul, perhaps. Maybe he's trying to go for a double jump. There might have been some sort of like very specific like soul toss he can make, where maybe if he goes for a double jump, he might be able to pass the soul towards the.
You might be able to cover. You might, I mean, in theory, should he? Can you cover enough distance with a double jump that you can turn around and fling the soul to the obelisk point?
There was clearly something there intended that Doomslayer can do, and Garpy did, like, you know, was trying to go for, but it just didn't work out. You know, we can talk about this maybe at a later date. Maybe we'll have a chat with Garpy and find out what he was trying to do. But either way, that's actually going to be match point for WinRAR Licensed Salesman. If they win this round, they will be going straight to DreamHack Winter. But Myztro, they've had a good start. And they got that soul drop off, and here comes power up. Looks like actually, I actually seeing in the chat, there's one of these players might have lost the voice chat, so we might find out what's going on here. But either way, the match currently is playing out, but of course we'll find out what's happening in due time.
We will continue until we understand what's going on. As we continue, this is Juvenile getting a nice amount now with that quad damage on deck. Team still has it.
But regardless of what's happening, I think Myztro have had a good start, and seeing as they have this quad damage, it's an opening they've so desperately been looking after, I think, you know, seeing as that last round so unfortunately slipped through Myztro's fingers.
Oh, Razy just literally walked in, took it, and walked off. That was BM.
Indeed. Taking a slight detour. I actually think the detour towards the health was something that I don't think WinRAR were expecting. The rocket actually went through the doorway, probably expecting him to try and waste no time.
Alright, Lith able to swoop in, has plenty of health, but used a lot of his armor on that self-damage. But look at the speed! Lith was able to drop it off anyway. Now, WinRAR Salesmen are still looking to try and win this final round. They are a little bit down at the moment, but Soul promptly stolen away.
Whoa. So the defense is coming through though. Juvenile's just going to try and make sure the frags come through first, and then after the frags come through, you know, the time it takes for people to respawn is going to be a nice amount of percentage before they actually are able to fight back. Love this defense. Yeah, Bus Driver with a good defensive rail. Myztro kind of trickling in one at a time right now. I think they kind of need to sort of sync up some of their respawns and attack as a group. If they go in one at a time when there's 3 people sitting on the point, you're really not going to last long.
So maybe they don't think they have time to wait now. You know, they are match point down, tournament point down, no less too. Garpy unfortunately committing suicide there as well, but takes out Sparty first. Oh, and walks out a little bit too far. We're walking straight into oh, everyone's dead. Everyone's dead. But that quad damage is going to be up in just a few seconds time. It's going to be in that important contesting, and Juvenile taking out Garpy right as the quad damage spawns, where Garpy has been such a key damage dealer.
That was quite a good call actually from Juvenile, understanding that if Garpy is going to be sort of playing that range game and trying to sort of catch someone near rocket, he's definitely not going to be looking at his surroundings. And that's exactly why Juvenile sort of caught him by surprise. Razy has the quad damage in hand. Has to be careful as the Squishianiki, but
one health on phase though, can't afford to take any damage. Oh! Juvenile coming in, one rocket, super shock I should say. Do more than enough damage there, but Razy in the sidelines of this quad damage. Mr. Sorrel could be in trouble here, only 40 health. Storm's been taken away, quad damage. Goes down, Lith is able to pick it up.
Base tries to get away. Actually, the frag comes through, Bus Driver goes down, and Myztro coming off better in these exchanges. Very important to make sure they're staying on top of things. They're so far down. So Juvenile getting another bull rush kill, so won't have it for the objective, but at least got a kill with it. Oh, but dies anyway, hell.
jump there. Seemingly drinking over the rocket as it lands down. Myztro now has the plasma trail.
I like that timing, actually making sure that he's getting a little bit of the plasma trail on deck first. So someone tries to challenge him, they're going to take a bit of damage, and then by the time he actually gets the soul, he's able to move away. But Razy, two very important rails, taking him out of action for now. But this with the surprise of that gauntlet around the corner from out of nowhere. But Myztro, they have more than enough heads on the scene. But right, so that here comes Juvenile with that ball rush. They come off better in that fight. A nice double from Sparty. Bus driver with the rail as well. I feel like this is just coming up so superbly well for winrar so far. It's just going from better to even better.
Hang on though, FaZe getting a crucial frag with that rocket though. Looking bad. Oh, Myztro getting another frag. This is important though for winrar. They are trading out frags for frags, but winrar, they're holding onto the obelisk this entire time. They're just building up percentage. Myztro though, not quite close enough for that gauntlet. Ends up getting taken out by Razy. Razy gets a nice double kill on the point. We're going to steal this away. Can they get it back? As that protection is 10 seconds away from spawning, this is going to be an important exchange. Do you try and stop the capture, or do you go for protection?
I mean, once you respawn, the thing is, once you die at the obelisk, when you respawn, you're likely to respawn closer to the enemy's obelisk than they are. So you get that extra shot, right? You get that extra chance to try and fight for it. Sparty, he went down near the obelisk, and he spawned in the power-up, was able to very comfortably fight towards that, and now has the protection. Seeing as he's Doomslayer with an already naturally quite impressive stack, he's going to run in with the rest of his team now to try and take this soul. And as they try now focus all efforts on the soul, they're ignoring Sparty, who gets all 4 members of Myztro with the protection and a rocket launcher. That's all he needs.
Well, they've spawned near the point, but they are not going to have a lot of weapons. But Razy with that crucial shot from behind. He's going to get that super shotgun, and that is a disaster. Nipped firmly in the bud before it got worse. Razy, very well there. His team in the round still.
It kind of goes back to what I just said, right? Where they'd lost all 4 team members, but they'd lost them all at the same time, which means that when they respawn, they're able to collectively as a group say, right, let's converge on this point. Let's focus near their obelisk. And they were able to make sure that, you notice the soul is still in transit. They'd lost all 4 team members, yet the soul has not been dropped off because Myztro was so close to the obelisk, the fight is taking place in the middle of the map. And it's only just been dropped off instead.
Still though, they have still got it. FaZe coming in point blank, trying to get a lot of damage here, but no, is still able to get it. Oh, the bus driver returning. FaZe getting a nice acid kill as he trades out the death, but Sparty still alive defending, keeping hold of this obelisk. All hell going in with the plasma trail, but no way he's going to survive against 3 people.
But I mean, with 15% left to go, this round could not last potentially that much longer. I mean, before I've even finished saying that, 5%'s gone down. 8% left. winrar license salesmen are on the verge of being our champions and qualifying for DreamHack. Myztro, they can't waste any more time. Once again, they need to pile in. They need to make sure they're wasting as much time as possible, but the fights are going back and forth. winrar license salesmen defeat Myztro for a second time today, and the tournament is theirs.
In another 2-0 fashion, but it definitely wasn't a free 2-0. Like, there may have been no games on the board, but Myztro had some moments. There were some close rounds. There were some super close rounds, but unfortunately, wasn't meant to be for Myztro today. I have no doubt we'll see them at DreamHack and they'll be at the BYOC. I mean, I think it's a safe assumption, right? You know, if you're a European team, it's in Sweden. You know, it's everyone knows how to get to DreamHack by now, right? Everyone knows what it's there. Most of these guys have probably already been many times.
Well, some of these Myztro guys will already be there in the door anyway. You know, with Razy, for example. But I think that it's going to be quite an easy trip for some of these Myztro boys to get out to Sweden for DreamHack. So, to be honest with you, I have no doubt they'll be there for BYOC, and I have no doubt they'll qualify because they are among some of the absolute top teams in competitive sacrifice right now. So I'd be surprised if they didn't. But either way, huge congratulations to winrar licensed salesmen, kind of following through expectations where they were this close to qualifying in the first week, but Stacked kept them out of it. Stacked not being in this tournament kind of automatically put winrar as the favourites to win this tournament. And they were able to sort of, again, like I said, match that expectation. And in dominant fashion as well. You know, the results, even though that was 2-0, the closeness in some of these rounds, a 2-0 result doesn't really show how close these maps actually went down for Myztro. But realistically, I'm happy for winrar. You know, they've earned this victory. They can go into DreamHack Winter feeling very, very good indeed. And congratulations all round.
That does mean we have a few matches left to go today. We're going to be heading back over to North America to see who their final qualified team will